messing around as usual. Right, YouTube's now live. Cool. Right. Make sure that I've got everything sorted to record podcast. Feels like it's fucking been a while. It's actually been what we're now the 20. Look at what 21st. Last live on podcast I did was on the 1st. So it's been a while. It's been a few weeks. This is the longest in a long time I've not done a live or a podcast. But I've got a really good one lined up for you guys today. So guys watching on the live, whatever platform that you're on, just leave an emoji in the comments or hit like or share it. Someone just let me know that you can hear me and you can see me okay before we get going. Wait for those emojis to come through. Hope everyone's having a great day. Some of the fucking hot weather's finally died off here in the UK. It's typical British, us, aren't we? Like, oh, it's fucking too hot. It's too hot. When it's cold and wet or it's snowing, we're like, oh, want a bit of sun. And when we get sun, everyone fucking melts, literally, don't they? In the UK, we're not very good at handling heat. Cool. Right, we've got a few emojis coming through. Thanks, team. So we've got a couple on Facebook. We've got 4 on Instagram. And watch on YouTube. Just hit the thumbs up. And we're going to get going very, very shortly. It feels mad. It feels like I've not done this in so long. Weird. Cool. Right, shall we hit record and get going? We're rolling. 3, 2, 1. Yes, gang. Welcome to the Type 1 Movement podcast. I nearly fucking forgot then. Tell you what, I've not done a podcast episode in, it's got to be 3 or 4 weeks. It's been crazy. My life's been pretty hectic at the moment. Obviously, making sure clients are all right. I've not had a holiday in 6 years. So the start of this month, me and my neighbour just went to Ibiza for 3 nights, 4 days. If you can call that a holiday, it was just a free fucking 4-day piss up, pretty much. You probably need, if you've ever been to Ibiza, you'll know that you feel like you need a holiday when you fucking get back from there. It's absolutely crazy. But no, managed to have a bit of a break and that, even though it was a piss up, so feeling good. But not actually done a live or a podcast since I've been back. And that's a good 2 or 3 weeks. So today I was like, right, let's fucking reopen the doors to doing a good live, a good podcast, and let's deliver some value to you guys. So in this episode today, I'm going to be talking about the 4 components of well-managed BGLs, blood glucose levels, right? The 4 components. Before we get into it, as I always ask, please leave me a rating and a review in the podcast app, as it really does help me reach more type 1 diabetics and positively impact our community. Also, whatever device or platform you're listening to it on, please give it a quick screenshot, share it on your Instagram stories, tag me at type1_Tom, share it out on Facebook, please, just so we can spread the love. Like I said, I run no ads to this podcast at all. It's all from word of mouth and from you guys, so I do truly appreciate all your support and your listening ears. I nearly said that. I'm just fucking making up words here. Right, sweet. So I thought, right, if we're doing a podcast episode, we're doing a live, it's not been done in a few weeks, we best bring a fucking good one. So like I said, I want to speak about the 4 components of well-managed blood glucose levels. Now, listen, this has come from a bit of inspiration from when I speak to other type 1s. I speak to a lot of type 1s daily, people on calls, if looking to join my program. And I always ask, right, cool, what have you tried so far to improve your blood glucose levels? And a lot of you guys are probably going to be able to relate to some of these answers. So like, what have you tried so far? And some of the common things that I hear is eating better. Now, look, I'm not saying these things are wrong. It is great that you guys and people are trying it. It's great. But there's a lot more that goes into it than these specific things. And that's why I want to give you these 4 main components today. Also, I should have said this at the start, get a fucking pen and paper, get ready to take some notes. So some of the common things that I hear from other type 1s that when they're wanting to improve their health and their blood glucose levels is, I've tried eating better. I've tried exercising, moving more, and I've messed around with my ratios. Sometimes there's a bit of a lack of understanding when it comes to messing around with ratios. We call that throwing shit at a wall, hoping something sticks. Sometimes you get it right. Sometimes you don't. You don't understand how you've had a day where you've 70, 80, 90% time in range. You don't get it. So this is just comes from a bit of lack of understanding. The other things, eating better, these are great. Exercising, fucking good on you guys for trying these things. But these are very, very small parts of the puzzle when it comes to having well-managed blood glucose levels. And this is what I want to break down now, because these 4 main key components, I'm going to speak about what they are, and I'm going to also give you guys some tips on them as well that you can take and run with and start implementing with yourself. Because you need to understand this. If one component is missing, the whole fucking shebang falls over. Yeah? It's like a chair. Yeah? If one fucking leg's missing, it's going to be wobbly as fuck. It's not going to be very stable. And it's the same when it comes to managing our blood glucose levels. Let's just say we start eating better and that's all we do. It's probably not going to work. Let's just say we start exercising and that's all we do. Probably not going to work. So I want you guys to I want to drill these home, these 4 components that make up great managed blood glucose levels. And so you can be a healthy type 1 diabetic. Now, these 4 components is basically what I have built my coaching program around. But also, I'm going to give you a blanket overview because these components change specific to the individual lifestyle goals and needs. Yeah. And this is why when I work with clients one-to-one, we go very sort of deep into this sort of stuff. But I want to give you guys these 4 components, like I say. So first up, I've put these of kind of order of importance, but they are all important when put together. But I've kind of put them in hierarchy order of importance, right? So the first component is the specific type 1 stuff. I probably could have got more scientific and better with that, but thought, fuck it. It's the specific things that we need to know and do as type 1 diabetics. So this falls under things like testing our rates and our ratios. So background insulin, basal rate if you're on a pump, insulin to carb ratio, correction factors, our pre-bolus timing if we need to pre-bolus, knowing how to bolus for fats, knowing how to bolus for protein, knowing how to adjust when exercising, all the specific, understanding how insulin works, all the specific things that we need to understand and know how to test as a type 1 diabetic is the first component. This is the component that a lot of type 1s really struggle with understanding and getting knowledge around. It can be challenging as well. I understand that because there's a lot of like different ways we can come off with this. The basics always apply, like how to run a test for a basal rate, how to run a test for carb ratios. But then it's down to the individual. Yeah. This is the main one that a lot of type 1s struggle with. So they go first off into the other components and put all their energy there and then wonder why they're still not having great glucose control. So that's the first component. It is basically the specific things that we need to know as type 1 diabetics. So where can you find all this shit? I've done so many podcast episodes about how to test rates, different insulin, so much. Go and listen to my backdated podcast episodes. Go and get me on Instagram. Go through my feed. Reach out to me if there's something specific that you're not sure on. Yeah. And obviously, like you can research on this, but be very careful if you're Googling things about insulin, type 1 diabetes, the information that you take in. Just be very careful. There's some good shit out there, but there's some shit that is shit. So be careful the information that you take in. That's the first component. That's probably the most important because without that, you could be eating well, you could be exercising, you could be doing all the other shit, but you're not understanding the specific things that we need to know as type 1 diabetics. You're not going to have well-managed blood glucose levels. Yeah. The next one, moving down the list, something that I speak about a lot and something that is very highly overlooked by type 1s, and this is your mindset. I've put this second. It's kind of like a first point of call that I go into with clients when they come on board my program, but our mindset is super, super important because this is going to change how you view your diabetes and it's going to impact your ability to be a problem solver. That's basically our job as a type 1 diabetic, yeah? So it's your mindset. If you have a fucked up mindset and if you have a very victimized mindset and you sit in that kind of, I'm going to be straight to the point with this self-pity, this why me, this is fucking shit, this is difficult. Yes, it is. But if you sit there for so long, that will consume so much mental energy from you that you haven't got the mental capacity to learn about the specific type 1 stuff. Yeah. So the first thing is, the second, component is your mindset. Yeah. Like I say, this is going to be how you view your diabetes and impact your ability to be a problem solver. So how do we create a good mindset? How do we create a solid mindset? First thing that this comes down to is acceptance. I struggled with this for the first 6 to 8 months of being diagnosed. When I was diagnosed when I was 21, and I've told you the story a few times, I was like, right, I've got OCD and a very addictive personality. So I was like, right, I'm going to learn all I can about this condition and well manage it. And I put all my mental energy into that. I did a great job, but I didn't fully accept it. Yeah, and that come back to bite me in the ass. So the first thing is with your mindset. Sit in it if you need to. Just accept the fact that you are a type 1 and it's not going anywhere soon. Straight to the point, bit of tough love. It isn't. We're all in the same boat together. That's the first thing. Other practical things that you can do to help you with your mindset is go and do shit that you enjoy doing. Go and do stuff that you enjoy doing. For me, this is like, some of it falls under exercise, but I love like riding my bike, running, DJing. There's things like that. Do you know what I mean? I'm quite sure you guys have got shit that you enjoy. Reading a book, whatever it is, playing video games. Anything that you enjoy is really going to help with your mindset, because it's going to take your mind off your diabetes for a minute, and it's going to help you mentally recharge. Another thing is meditation, guided meditation. This isn't for everyone. It's something that I do and I'll get a lot of my clients to do. So using like the Calm app, Headspace app, there's loads of good guided meditation apps out there. They do really, really help. And the other one, which I've done several times, is therapy. I'll be straight up with you. There's times when I've been mentally struggling and I've needed external help from a counselor and a therapist. And this is nothing to be ashamed about. If you're having a really tough time with your mindset, then reaching out and asking for help from a therapist, there's no fucking shame in that. So there are some things that you can do for the second component, which is your mindset. Yeah. The third component is nutrition. You see how nutrition's like third. Next, we're going to get on to exercise, which is fourth. Nutrition is normally the first point of call that a lot of type 1s go to when they're like, right, I want to improve my blood glucose control. This does have an impact, but not over specific type 1 stuff that we spoke about, your rates and ratios, understanding all that shit, and not over your mindset. So nutrition, tips that I've got for you on nutrition, the biggest one is always ask yourself this. The way that you're, and I mean, if you're eating like a fucking dick like this, and I'll be straight to the point with that, and you know you need to sort your shit out, this doesn't apply. But if you're starting to move around with your nutrition, eat a little bit better, and you've not done any drastic changes, because that's probably not going to be livable and sustainable, you need to ask yourself, how I'm eating now, am I happy? Am I enjoying what I'm eating? Because you need to enjoy what you're eating. And can I stick to this long term? Yeah. Can I stick to this long term? Yeah. Ask yourself that. There's so many different ways of eating. Nutrition is such a fucking bottomless pit that I could tell you how I enjoy eating, but it might not be how you enjoy eating. It goes the same for my clients when I'm working with them. It's finding out foods that they enjoy. Yeah, what sort of splits do they enjoy? What sort of meals, meal frequency, timing, all that stuff. And this comes down to you as well. So find a way of eating that is including enough protein. These are the blanket things that you need to do. Enough protein, enough veggies in, but that you enjoy and you think, you know what, I can stick to this long term, because that's the key, sticking to your nutrition long term. Never think of it as a diet. As soon as you start thinking of something as a fucking diet, it automatically puts an end date on it, which means I've just got to get through a few more weeks or a few more months, then I can go back to how I was eating before. No, bullshit. Don't think of what you're eating as a diet. It's just a way of eating for one, your health, and for two, your blood glucose levels. Yeah. So that's a third component, is your nutrition. The fourth, the very last thing, all of these are important, but the fourth, the very last thing is exercise. Yeah. Exercise. And again, with this, pick shit that you enjoy doing. If you've heard, let's say, for example, you've heard, running's the best to have well-managed blood glucose levels, and you fucking hate running, so you decide to take up running and you last a couple of weeks. Well, it's not the best, is it? Because you didn't fucking like it and you didn't stick to it. This can go the same with nutrition. If I'm like, this is the best nutrition plan, but you don't like it and you can't stick to it, it ain't the fucking best nutrition plan for you. And the same on exercise. There's so many different forms of exercise that you can do. Find shit that you enjoy. I will be biased and go towards resistance training and lifting weights, because the benefits for us from that as type 1 diabetics are huge. Fucking huge as resistance training. But then you've got other things like walking, that's more of activity, exercising, riding a bike, running, snowboarding, fucking, I say sledging then, skiing, rowing, like dancing, Pilates, yoga. There's so many different forms of exercise that you can do. Go and try different things and find what you enjoy and then put them into your weekly routine. Yeah. So team, before we close out, excuse me, I'm going to do a quick recap. The 4 components of having well-managed blood glucose levels. You can't just decide to go balls deep on one of these, like eating better, and forget the other 3, because it ain't going to fucking work. You need all of them. Yeah. So the first one is the specific type 1 stuff, rates and ratios testing, understand fucked up mindset. Everything else is going to be super challenging and you're probably going to quit at some point. Yeah. So second component is your mindset. Third is nutrition. find a way that you enjoy eating. Don't eat like a knob. We're all adults. We know how we should be eating and what the components are of a good way of eating. I hate saying the word healthy, but a good way of eating. So find a way that you can stick to. Try some different ways of eating. It's not like the first thing that you do, you need to stick to. Try some different ways. And the fourth one is exercise. Again, doing things that you enjoy doing. I will always veer towards resistance and weight training though, because the benefits for them as us, if you can do it, as type 1 diabetics are super, super important. Team, they are the 4 components. They all need individualized attention. Yeah. And this is basically what I've built my program around as well. But like I say, when I speak to type 1s, they're all like, right, I've changed what I'm eating and I'm exercising. Cool. But what about your mindset? What about the specific type 1 stuff? Yeah. And if we're speaking about the specific type 1 stuff, like, well, I don't really understand it. Well, in that case, go and listen to my podcast. I'm going to let this outro play out. Should have extended that a little bit. We're going in a minute. Always fucking gets me that outro on the live. I can edit it out of the podcast, but on the lives, it's an absolute bastard. Right, we're going in 3, 2, 1. Right, we're back there. Cool. Yeah. So if it's like say, if it's a lack of understanding about the specific type 1 stuff, go and listen to my podcast. Reach out to me. Ask for help. Yeah. Ask for help. There's no fucking downside in asking for help. Team, that is it. 4 components, specific type 1 stuff, your mindset, nutrition, and exercise. All of these will be different from person to person because we're not all the same fucking people. We always have the baseline foundations of it, but they will need tweaking and adjusting person to person. Yeah. Team, that is it. Hopefully you got some value from this episode. If you did, please leave me a rating and a review on the podcast app. As I said at the start, it really does help me reach more type 1 diabetics and positively impact our community. Thank you very much for listening today. Hugely, very, very grateful. Just making up words there. Appreciate your time. Appreciate your ears, team. Until the next podcast, have a fucking great day. Peace. Right, I'm going to stay on for a couple of minutes. Just if anyone's got any questions or anything they'd like to go over in regards to what I've just spoke about, just let me know. Stick your questions. Stick your questions in the fucking comments. Quick look back through Instagram. A few emojis. Thank you. Hey to everyone saying hi. Sweet. Right, we've got no questions. So we're going to end the live there. Hopefully you guys got some value from that as well. So thank you very much for jumping on this live, for watching and for listening. Until the next live, have a fucking great day. Peace.